The Oakland Raiders 2-6. The Denver Broncos 6-2. Denver's won the toss. They'll receive. Sebastian Janikowski will kick it off for Oakland. Brian Clark is the deep man for Denver. Here is Clark returning from the 7. Clark looks for an opening, gets pushed towards the sideline and forced out of bounds. Out across the 25-yard line. That's where Denver will start off on offense. Jake Plummer. Look for Rod Smith to be more involved this week as well for Denver. Handoff. It is Tatum Bell getting the first carry. Unable to get to the outside. Thomas Howard. Excellent pursuit along the perimeter. It's a loss of 2 on the play. Defensively for the Oakland Raiders, it has been a bright spot. Last week, though, a black eye with Tyler Brayton, $25,000 fine for an incident with Jeremy Stevens. He apologized to the team. Linebackers, this is an improved group, youngsters who are flying all over the field. And in the secondary, they're making plays this year. Derek Burgess told us that's been the big key. Those young guys are making it happen on the second level. This is a 2nd and 12 now for Denver. Stick with the running game. And it is Bell bursting up the middle for a pickup of 9 for Tatum Bell.
Tatum Bell will have to carry the load today. This is just going to be that zone blocking over here. They'll start here, but watch how he cuts it up, and that's the ability to use that one-cut running style that the Denver Broncos do so well. See, he reads the lane, and then he gets to the second level. You even get the wide receivers and everyone blocking in this Denver Bronco running game. Mike Shanahan wants Tatum Bell to be able to get to the second level and then hit that one cut. And he has to have this running attack really be able to break off some big runs today.
On third down, Plummer's pass is dropped. David Kirkus came on for Denver as a third receiver. And they were unable to make the connection with Fabian Washington in coverage. So Denver forced to punt on its first possession.
Yeah, they have to go 3 and out. Jake Plummer's not happy with Kirkus, and neither is Mike Shanahan, because they want to be able to keep the crowd out of it. We talked to Rod Smith. He says, you know, if you get this crowd behind this team, they can steal a win from you here. So we've got to take the crowd out early by sustaining drives and making plays. Kirkus was not able to convert.
Paul Ernster will punt, averaging just over 42 yards per kick, with Chris Carr deep. And a short kick. Inauspicious start for Denver here today. Oakland Raiders will have excellent field position to open things up out across their own 40-yard line after a 25-yard punt from Ernster. Andrew Walter has to pick it up for this Raider team. If they're going to start turning it into wins, Moss has to be a difference maker. Inside handoff, Zach Crockett. And Crockett keeps the legs churning. The veteran is into Denver territory. John Lynch brings him down. Some chicanery on the opening possession, and not 100%. Darren Williams not 100% as well. And we'll have a penalty. What else is new for Oakland? Slaughter on that left side move.
False start. Number 78 offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Bill Levy, our referee today, and that is Chad Slaughter in his 6th year at Alcorn State. Stepping in for Robert Gallery, who injured himself over the course of the week in practice. Art Shell actually replaced Mike Shanahan as the head coach of the Raiders 4 games into the 1989 season, and back with his 2nd tour of duty with Oakland. Jordan, the featured back. And Jordan running virtually nowhere. A gain of 1.5 yards, maybe 2, depending on the spot. Michael Myers involved in that stop for Denver.
Now you saw earlier on the first play by the Oakland Raiders, a 17-yard run by Zach Crockett. It's clear that the Raiders want to come out. They want to run the football. That's going to be their best bet at protecting their young quarterback, Andrew Walter. But when they do decide to throw the ball, look for them to throw quick passes and then be able to get the ball out to their check down, maybe dumping it off to their running back, Lamont George.
So you think the running backs will be more involved in the passing?
It will be a real big factor in the passing.
Walter, play fit. There's the pressure, and Walter trying to get it to Randall Williams. It's incomplete. And that has been a recurring theme for Walter. His guys are not making consistent plays for him downfield.
Yeah, you see the drop pass by Williams. I will say this. He should not have had to dive for the ball, should not have had to go low for it because he was wide open. I think you got to get a better pass from Andrew Walter, but now you see why they don't like to put him on the move and roll him out. He really is a pocket passer, more prone to greater accuracy when he's standing in the pocket than when he's on the move.
It's Arizona State against Arizona State today with Jake Plummer and Andrew Walter, the two most prolific passers in Sun Devils football history. And here's Walter on a 3rd and 14. Walter steps up and fires underneath, well short of a first down, as he is able to make the connection to Ronald Curry. Dominique Foxworth in on that package for Denver, a 6-yard gain, and now the Raiders forced to punt.
Yeah, the reason why they were not able to sustain a drive, 2 costly mistakes. One by the left tackle, Chad Slaughter, for his false start penalty, and then the drop pass by Randall Williams.
Well, Darren Williams is not 100% because of a shoulder injury, so he's not returning punts today for Denver. They're going to give David Kirkus a chance here. Timeout taken by the Broncos. Kirkus in his 3rd year from Grand Valley State. So Shane Leckler will have to wait a little longer as the Raiders will punt. We're in the black hole today in Oakland. Broncos and Raiders, no score early. Frustrating offensive season for Oakland. Raiders are last in the NFL in scoring, in total offense and in passing offense, and didn't do anything with the opportunity after the poor kick by Ernster. Shane Leckler will now punt for the Raiders. Kirk is waiting. Leckler trying to place this one and does an excellent job. It'll be touched up inside the 10-yard line. Shane Leckler continues to be one of the top punters in the NFL, averaging 48.5 yards per kick. Sam Williams. Denver Broncos coming off a 31-20 win in Pittsburgh, a game that saw them put up 6 takeaways against the Steelers. 1st and 10 for Denver. And Plummer is intercepted, picked off by Asamoah. Raiders have it at the Denver 15.
We told you that Jake Plummer had to be steady as he goes. You cannot turn the ball over in this end of the field. This pass intended for Javon Walker. Watch, it's going to be thrown behind him directly to Nnamdi Asomugha. He has a better chance of catching that pass than Jake Plummer did the intended receiver, Javon Walker.
4th pick of the season for Asomugha. And the Raiders have it at the Denver 15-yard line with 10:57 to go. Opening quarter. Now this Raiders defense, obviously because of the offensive struggles, that's what everybody's talking about, but they've done their job. And a handoff, Jordan picks up a yard and brought down by Myers again. Michael Myers getting involved early for Denver defensively.
To give you an idea just how much this defense has improved for the Oakland Raiders, particularly in the secondary. All of last season in 16 games, they had 5 interceptions already, double that. That was their 11th interception so far this year. So they're setting the table. Let's see if the offense can capitalize.
Double tight end set with Anderson and Williams on a 2nd and 9. They'll feed it to Jordan again. Jordan leaning forward. No gain on the play. It sets up 3rd and long. Al Wilson, one of the best middle linebackers in football, was on the spot.
You can see the Oakland Raiders really struggling to run the ball, average less than 1 yard per play. This area of the football field, so they have to be able to convert down inside the red zone. Now on 3rd and 9, very difficult to run against a very fast and very active and aggressive Denver Broncos defense. If you're going to throw it, make quick decisions, but you better be dead on accurate with the decision you make from your quarterback.
Here's Walker stepping up. Walker on 3rd down. Throws. 1st down inside the 5. Randall Williams, the tight end. That's an 11-yard gain, and it sets up 1st and goal for Oakland.
Well, watch the protection provided by the offensive line for Andrew Walker. He holds the ball well over 3 seconds, come off this initial read, and then gets it over to Williams, the tight end, over in the flat. If Champ Bailey doesn't make the tackle, it's going to be a touchdown.
Randy Moss is coming to the sideline on a 1st and goal from the 3.
66!
And he better get off the field.
So a tight formation now for Oakland.
79!
Double tight end set. Inside handoff. Zach Crockett grinding it inside for a pickup of 2. Short of the goal line, it'll be 2nd and goal from the 1.
And we have always said that turnovers are the great equalizer. You get a team coming in here at 6-2 like the Denver Broncos working against a Raider team that's 2-6. If you turn it over to the Raiders, it will help them close the gap in terms of the ability that they have coming into this ball game. It's how they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers just a couple of weeks ago.
2nd and goal from the 1. Oakland looking to strike first. Handoff. Jordan can't get there. So the Broncos hold on 2nd down. It's 3rd and goal for the Raiders.
Well, this Denver Bronco defense is one of the best defenses in the National Football League. Number 1 in terms of points allowed. Mike Shanahan told us last night, said our 2 big things is we don't want to give up points, and then we want to create turnovers on defense. Larry Coyer has this defense on point. They're very aggressive. Watch them slanting at the line of scrimmage, looking to get penetration in the Raiders' backfield.
Veal and Ferguson were able to bunch up on the last play. Raiders need a touchdown here on a 3rd and goal. Fake the handoff. Walker throws it away.
And you had movement up front on the offensive line, or either on the defensive line for the Denver Broncos. There was movement before the snap of the ball.
So a penalty marker on the play. It's going to work against Denver.
Holding, number 55 defense, prior to the pass. Half the distance to the goal, automatic 1st down.
Wow.
DJ Williams called on a hold, and an automatic 1st down for the Raiders.
Take a look on the right side of your screen. You see DJ Williams right there working against Courtney Anderson, the intended receiver for Andrew Walter.
Jordan and Crockett lined up. Raiders will look to power this one in. 1st and goal. Handoff. It's Jordan. Slips in for the touchdown. Raiders strike first off of the turnover.
Well, they had a chance to make the play. Watch number 90, Kenny Peterson, get into the backfield, not able to secure the tackle on Lamont Jordan. You make a miss in the backfield, by the time you get to the line of scrimmage, you're going in for a touchdown.
Broncos come in leading the NFL, allowing just over 12 points per game. And the Raiders get the ball at the 15-yard line following the Asamoah interception. Janikowski the extra point. Touchdown for Jordan. Raiders leading the Broncos 7-0 in the first. Touchdown of the season for Lamont Jordan. First touchdown the Raiders have put up against Denver. And the Broncos have been stopping everybody of late. Out of bounds, so with the good comes the bad. Janikowski with a miscue. Denver will have excellent field position to start out here.
1st down.
From the 40. After we step aside. 7-0. It's the 93rd all-time meeting between the Raiders and the Broncos. Oakland leads the series with a mark of 53-37-2. Double tight end set. Plummer sets and throws to the outside. It's complete to Rod Smith, the veteran, out along the perimeter. That's a 9-yard gain for Smith. Jake Plummer this season, we've seen the bad and we've seen the good.
Yeah, there's been times where this offense has been rendered ineffective, particularly when it comes to throwing the football. 5 interceptions in his first 4 games, but you see in the last 4 games been much improved. Better quarterback rating, and you saw in that last play the bootleg rollout when he got the ball over to Rod Smith. That's what you want from Jake Plummer. Easy throws and protect the football.
On the handoff, Tatum Bell. And did not get the 1st down. Michael Huff made sure of it for Oakland. Just needed a yard. So it'll be 3rd and short coming up Tuesday on CBS. It's not brain surgery. Well, so 3rd and 1 now for Mike Shanahan's offense. Denver has scored 62 points in their last 2 games combined after some frustrating offensive performances early. On the inside handoff, I don't think he got there. Cecil Sapp needed a full yard. And this will all depend on the spot.
Yeah, they're bringing out the chains as well, and this has to be very frustrating from Mike Shanahan. He expects to be able to run the football, and then on 3rd and 1, doesn't expect to have to really be a measurement. He expects this offensive line to be able to get some movement and the runners to get to the second level. Right now, this run game, they're really struggling. That's why you're seeing different running backs getting the ball and getting opportunities in this offense.
Yep, they didn't get it. It's 4th down. They're at the middle of the field. You know that Oakland does not have a high-powered offense. Does Shanahan go for it?
He's going to go for it. You know why? He really does respect and trust his defense. They've got some veterans on the defensive side, so even if they don't make it and turn the ball over at the 50-yard line to the Oakland Raiders, an offense that, quite frankly, hasn't been very effective themselves. So he's got to believe in his defense and allow the offense to go for it on 4th down.
4th and less than a yard here for Denver. They're stacking the line. Fake the handoff. Plummer throwing. It's picked off again. Plummer is intercepted by Washington for Oakland. Two picks today for Jake Plummer. One for Asamoah, the other for Fabian Washington.
Of the 3 possible scenarios, this is not the worst one, to be honest with you. And you see what Jake Plummer is seeing. Nowhere to go with the ball. He throws it up to the back receiver, Steven Alexander, and then the ball is intercepted. They're actually maybe 9 yards behind that 50-yard line, where even if it would have been an incompletion, the Raiders would have had the ball with better field position than the interception by Fabian Washington.
So Raiders take over, leading 7-0. And off, Jordan. Nowhere to run, loss of 1. And Lamont Jordan having a tough time getting going here for Oakland. The Raiders, in fact, have not been able to produce yards. They've averaged 141 yards of offense the last 2 games. Al Wilson in on that stop for Denver.
Well, the defense did set the table, did an excellent job of getting good field position for this offense. I think Andrew Walter has to make very good decisions, but quick decisions. Can't take sacks in this offense.
Now they'll try Justin Fargas in the backfield. Had only 1 carry against Seattle. Walter, pocket collapsing, and quickly throws it away. Now Andrew Walter, he sees defensive players rushing him in his sleep. And that moment there where Walter's got to make a quick decision, you saw, he just threw it away.
He was smart for getting rid of the football. Felt the pocket collapsing, so you can't get caught holding the football and take a sack there. We asked him, how did you feel after the 9 sacks on Monday night? He says, I'm just now starting to get back to normal. And it was Saturday.
Yeah.
He had spent more time in the whirlpool this week recovering from that Monday night game.
So now a 3rd and 11 for Walter and the Raiders. They handle the rush this time. Walker throws short of a 1st down. Excellent diving grab made by Randall Williams for a pickup of 10. But still a good yard shy of that 1st down line.
But he's still not able to step up in the pocket because they're not even blitzing, but still able to get pressure in the face of Andrew Walter. That time, Gerard Warren, the right defensive tackle, was able to come in and get pressure, but Walter made a good decision, got rid of the football, and was able to get the completion. And now they're going to give the ball right back to the Denver Broncos.
Shane Leckler on to punt it. David Kirk is standing at his own 10-yard line for Denver. Leckler again trying to place it. Oh my gosh. It's going to be a touchback, and Leckler can't believe it.
That ball actually stopped right on the goal line.
A timeout with 4:25 to play. Here in the first, Broncos will have it at their own 20, but they trail 7-0. Denver Broncos 6-2, the first of 3 straight divisional games for the Broncos. They're home for San Diego and then at Kansas City coming up right now. A 7-0 Oakland lead. Plummer throws incomplete. Looking for Javon Walker in a matchup with Asamoah out along the sideline.
You have to understand that after the week Javon Walker had last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, he's going to draw some double coverage. Stuart Schweigert was helping over the top, and so they may have to go to Rod Smith, expect him to have a big game this week.
Javon Walker last week, 6 catches, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns, a rush for 72 yards, and a touchdown. And off to Tatum Beck. And Bell is driven backwards, loses the ball late. And the play was whistled dead as Chris Carr scoops it up for Oakland. Turdell Sands in there defensively for the Raiders, and it'll set up 3rd and long now for Denver.
And watch how they just stack the line of scrimmage. Each guy in a gap. You see Thomas Howard, you see all the linebackers and even defensive backs coming up to shore up their run defense for the Oakland Raiders. They're not going to allow the Denver Broncos to get their run game going. I think this game's really going to come down to Jake Plummer making some plays in the passing game.
Well, right now, Plummer's 1 of 5, 9 yards, 2 picks. Here's Plummer stepping up. Plummer, one-on-one, down the sideline. It's incomplete. He was looking for Walker once again. And this time, Fabian Washington with the coverage, and Jake Plummer is now 1 of 6 throwing the football.
And you can see Plummer not on the same page with his wide receiver. Now, you see Walker's inside. Ball has to be thrown inside where Walker can get to it. He throws it way on the outside. Javon Walker had no chance of hauling in that pass from Jake Plummer.
You know, Jake telling us yesterday that even with the offensive struggles early in the season, he said there was no finger pointing from the defense. They backed us even through our problems. They're having problems again today. Punt from Ernster. Carr catches cleanly at the 40. And a little juke move along the sideline. He picks up 5 yards. 39-yard punt, and time right now for us to check out the wisdom of Solomon.
Talent without discipline can bring some high maintenance headaches and bring very few wins. They're having to make some tough decisions in terms of personnel.
Excellent field position again for Oakland as Walker throws. The Zach Crockett gets submarine down low by Darrent Williams, and he picks up 3 yards. With that said, do you feel like Art Shell is instilling that sense of discipline again for this Raiders?
I do believe so. As you see the offense getting going and Andrew Walker getting the ball over to Zach Crockett, the fact that they're not playing a guy like Jerry Porter, who, of course, Art Shell has been well documented that he wants things done his way. He really is trying to change a culture here with the Oakland Raiders, and I think this is a team that's going to continue to improve if they allow the coach to do things his way.
Fargas breaks 1 tackle by Engelberger, but then gets hit hard as white jerseys came over through the area to make the stop, including Kenny Peterson. Look at the AFC West standings. San Diego moves to 7-2. What a come from behind win that was over Cincinnati. So Denver trying to keep pace right now with the Chargers, and those two teams will hook up next week. Kansas City 5-4 now, with Oakland bringing up the rear.
An impressive performance by the young quarterback, Phillip Rivers, bringing the Chargers back on the road, down 21 points to come back and win that ball game.
Our score here, Raiders 7, Broncos nothing. About 2 minutes left, first quarter. Walter unable to make the connection with Randy Moss. And Walter again takes a shot. Demetrin Veal with that pressure in the pocket.
Bob Watching takes the shot. Now, he stands in there tall, delivers the ball, does take a hit, and this ball really should have been completed. He got it to a point where I thought Randy Moss could have possibly have come down for it. There was an attempt to make the catch, and Randy Moss did dive for it, missing by just an inch.
This is our 5th punt already combined between the two teams. Leckler again. Kirkus waiting, this time moves forward. From the 18, Kirkus cuts it upfield. David Kirkus into Raider territory and tripped up by Leckler. David Kirkus, the former Detroit Lion, one of the more prolific Division II receivers out of Grand Valley State, getting a shot on special teams.
He used to work at a Subway, but now he's returning punts for the Denver Broncos. Shane Leckler, one of the best punters in the National Football League, as well as one of the best tackling punters, because Kirkus really could take this one to the house. All he has to do is make one more guy miss. Watch Leckler, gets his head down, gets his arms around the legs of David Kirkus, who has phenomenal speed, wishing he would have gotten that one into the end zone.
A 42-yard punt return for Kirkus. And it sets up Denver with a 1st and 10 at the Oakland 41. On the give. And not much there as Bell tried to cut it. 2-yard gain for Bell. Kirk Morrison and Huff in there defensively for Oakland. First 4 possessions, for Denver so far. Offense hasn't been there.
Very anemic. Couple of punts, couple of turnovers right now. They have an opportunity with good field position to make something happen. But right now, I think the Oakland Raiders got to give their defense some credit. They've been all over the run game for the Denver Broncos. And then when Jake Plummer wants to make a pass, this Raiders defense has been on the money.
Solomon, our first look at Damian Nash off the practice squad. Fake the handoff. Plummer under duress again and throws it away. So the Raiders getting some pressure. They're not a blitzing team by nature. They just expect their front four to do some damage.
Well, they know what to expect because no one bid on the run fake to Damian Nash. You saw Burgess getting up the field. Rob Ryan, his defensive coordinator here in Oakland. I think they really got the page in the Denver Broncos playbook. They know what to expect. Nothing's catching them off guard. Burgess getting up the field to contain Jake Plummer on the bootleg, and they had every receiver covered in the secondary.
3rd and 8. Shotgun. Plummer. They handle the rush. Plummer swings complete to Walker. Breaks a tackle and takes it the distance. Touchdown, Denver Broncos.
He is a machine. Javon Walker caught up in man-to-man coverage, and he makes the play. He's going to win against number 21, Nnamdi Asomugha. Watch as he gets back down inside, and then the safety, you're supposed to have help from Stuart Schweiger, who can't make the tackle. Javon Walker at 6'3", well over 200 pounds. I think he's an excellent combination of both size, speed, and quickness. You see him making plays after the catch.
He is on pace for a 78 reception, 1,338-yard, 10-touchdown season. To think where he was a year ago as Jason Elam adds the extra point. Major knee surgery, that right ACL, as a member of the Green Bay Packers. A 3-play, 41-yard drive set up by the Kirkus return. 7-all. Dormant most of this first quarter. They bust out, and they bust out in a big way. Plummer to Walker. Where have we heard that before?
Well, tell you, Jake Plummer threw an excellent pass. He allowed Walker to not only make the catch, but didn't have to break stride in order to make the reception, allowed him to elude a couple of defensive backs and get it into the end zone. On draft day, they gave up a second-round pick to bring over Javon Walker and then gave him a new contract. That's a lot of confidence they've shown in Javon Walker, and boy, is he paying off huge dividends.
It's $1 million base salary for this year for Javon Walker, but there are a couple of dates coming up for Javon that are going to make him well over $10 million, and I'm sure the Broncos are going to keep him in the fold after the season that he's had. On the return for Carr, 23 yards. And coming up, Sprint halftime report. JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer have the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Sprint halftime report.
Now let's see how the Oakland Raiders offense is going to respond. This defense came out and played very good for most of the first quarter, but you got to know Denver Broncos are going to make some plays on offense. Now you have to respond.
That's Crockett in front of Fargas on first down, but Walter wants to throw it. Standing tall in the pocket, over the middle, it's complete to Whitted for a 5-yard pickup. First 4 possessions for Oakland. They did have the touchdown. That was after the interception, setting them up at the 15-yard line. Jordan taking it in for the score.
And the important thing is on their last 2 possessions, they've gone 3 and out. So now you have to try to sustain the drive. The big problem here has been the offense goes 3 and out, and the defense is back on the field. They're tired, and they tend to wear down for Art Shell. So it's important that they sustain a drive and get a couple of first downs.
Time winding down here in the first. On the give, it is Fargas with a shake and bake move, and he picks up 2 yards. John Lynch patrolling that secondary for Denver, making the stop.
John Lynch is a wicked tackler. I mean, when he hits you, you go down, and you go down in a hurry. Justin Fargas had no chance of breaking that tackle by John Lynch.
Jake Grove slow to get up. Already offensive line issues with injuries. We'll keep an eye on Grove, the starting center for the Raiders. End of 1. Our entire CBS crew with you from Oakland. 7-7 Raiders and the Broncos. We start play in the second quarter with a 3rd and 4. Protection is there. Walter is able to find Rashard Lee for a first down. Out across the 35-yard line. They picked up 5. And this drive will continue with DJ Williams in there and Demetrin Veal.
Now you see the protection they're going to give Andrew Walter. Watch the wall that they get around him, and you see they have the running backs that they're getting involved. See the clear passing lane to get that ball over to Rashard Lee? You can expect the running backs to catch more passes in this offense from Andrew Walter. It's going to go a long way into protecting the quarterback.
And right now, Adam True, the veteran, is in at center, replacing Jake Grove, who was shaken up on that last play of the first quarter. Bootleg. They have Walter on the move. Sidesteps and finds the open man. Out across the 40-yard line, Randy Moss. That's not usually where you see him catch the football. Champ Bailey in on coverage against Randy Moss. Two of the greats at their position.
And now you see Tom Walsh getting the quarterback on the move, moving and changing the launch point. And Randy Moss does a good job of staying with the play because there was a breakdown momentarily. Andrew Walter was able to shake a defender in the backfield, buy a little bit more time, and then came up and found Randy Moss over the middle and was able to complete the pass.
On a 2nd and 2, Crockett in there with Justin Fargas. Again, inside handoff, and it's Crockett busting into Denver territory. Michael Myers making that stop. That's an 11-yard gain for Crockett, his 15th carry of the season.
Watch how they slant the defensive lineman, so they want to come back and hit it across the grain, and that's why they're able to get to the backside. See, as they slant, then see it's just that trap blocking to get Zach Crockett to the 2nd level. So right now, I think you're having some excellent play calling on the offensive side of the ball for the Oakland Raiders. They look very crisp, getting out of the huddle, getting up to the line of scrimmage and making plays.
Certainly felt that they would run the football more this week, just didn't know they would do it with their fullback. Walker too high and nearly intercepted. Nick Ferguson had the opportunity with Randy Moss in the vicinity, and Walter just missed out on what would have been a very solid gainer.
Yeah, I think what you have in here is where Andrew Walter knows the receiver's open. He just hurries his throw. See, he's too quick, doesn't set his feet, and doesn't have the proper mechanics. All he's doing is waving his arm, hoping to keep the ball on its flight path. You have to trust the mechanics of your body to be able to complete that pass in an accurate manner.
On a 2nd and 10 now, ball spotted just shy of the 45. Handoff, Fargas looks for a crease and is brought down as the whistle blew. That's a 3-yard gain for Justin Fargas. He's running with a purpose right now. Lamont Jordan is the featured back, but they're comfortable setting Fargas up on 1st or 2nd down. And he's got that home run capability of maybe busting one. Jordan hasn't been able to grind out those long gains this season.
You know, Denver hasn't been blitzing much. Let's see if on 3rd down they can try to put some pressure on Andrew Walter, who has had some time to throw the ball.
This is a 3rd and 7 for Oakland. Play clock winding down. Here comes Denver on the rush. Raiders handle it initially. And complete. No! Randall Williams had it. Are they going to give him a catch? Broncos want it incomplete. Side judge is trying to work it out with Nick Ferguson over there. It is incomplete.
Oh, they did bring the blitzing linebacker, DJ Williams. It forced the throw. You'll see him coming right here. And they don't pick him up. If you're able to pick up that one block, you see they block him initially, but then DJ Williams keeps his feet, is able to get pressure. Nice throw from Andrew Walter while under pressure, and Williams was not able to haul it in.
Williams, a converted wide receiver to the tight end position, nearly had it for Oakland. Would have been a 1st down. David Kirkus had the big punt return in his last opportunity. Here's Leckler. Kirkus lets it bounce, and Leckler does his job again. Is there a better punter in the NFL than Shane Leckler? Denver is pinned back at their own 2-yard line as we step aside in the 2nd. Denver Broncos 8-3 in Oakland under Mike Shanahan. They find themselves in a tie game here in the 2nd quarter. Plummer throwing from his own end zone to Cecil Sapp, the fullback. And Sapp gives them some breathing room for a pickup of 8 on 1st down. Fabian Washington over there defensively for Oakland. As we try to take a big picture look at this Denver offense, Solomon, Why do you think there are times where they struggle on the offensive end? We just haven't seen that consistency from them.
I think they're going through some changes. You know, they have a lot of new faces on this offense. Every receiver in the offense is new to the football team with the exception of Rod Smith. New tight ends and then even new running backs. This is even Tatum Bell's first year as a full-time starter.
On a 2nd and 2, and that is Tatum Bell getting Denver the first down with a 4-yard gain. Bell had been suffering from turf toe. Let's get into the running back situation as well. As somebody turning on the TV today and not hearing the news, Mike Bell is inactive, a healthy inactive. The decision by Mike Shanahan to give Damian Nash a chance. Why?
Yeah, well, we asked him. He says, we haven't lost any confidence in Mike Bell. He says, Nash is one guy that he's looked good in practice against our number ones. He appears to be a good fit for our running style and our system here. We want to give him a look, and Mike Shanahan is going to always go with the hot hands. He sees you in practice, giving that kind of effort. He's going to give you a shot and make plays in a game.
Tatum Bell, though, is the featured back, and Bell carries for 4. Tyler Brayton there defensively for the Oakland Raiders, which leads us to the Brayton story as well, Solomon. He apologized to the team for what happened on Monday night, that knee to the groin area of tight end Jeremy Stevens of the Seattle Seahawks. That's not Tyler Brayton. You and I have sat down with Brayton. I think you were just as surprised as I was, and then the news comes out that Jeremy Stevens wasn't exactly a choir boy himself.
Yeah, he was provoked, even though it doesn't excuse the behavior of Tyler Brayton, who did apologize to his teammates, to the entire league. And I don't think if you take a look at his body of work, you know that's something that's more of an anomaly than it is in terms of his behavior. Not consistent with the guy that we know to be Tyler Brayton.
Walker and Asamoah in that matchup. And yes, Art Shell told us that the team was very satisfied with Brayton and his explanation. Shell saying he's a super kid. He said that was selfish. This is Brayton talking. And I put myself ahead of the team. That will not happen again. Case closed. 3rd and 6 now for Denver. 3 receivers set. And the play whistle dead.
False start. Number 75 offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
75 is Adam Meadows. The veteran is in there right now along that Denver offensive line. Eric Piers is the starter at left tackle. Piers is out there. So let's see where Meadows is lined up for Denver along that offensive line.
Well, this puts Denver into a big hole. I think if you're Jake Plummer, what you want to do, you want to find the receiver who's got one-on-one coverage. They will leave their corners here with the Raiders in one-on-one.
Meadows is in for George Foster at right tackle. Plummer throws, nobody home. He was looking for Kirkus. And Jake Plummer is now 3 of 11, 57 yards, a touchdown and 2 picks. Denver will punt.
And the penalty on Adam Meadows put him at a huge disadvantage, forcing the 3rd and long. It forces you to have to punt the football. But if you're Denver, you'd rather punt it than risk turning the ball over to the Oakland Raiders and giving them excellent field position again.
Chris Carr standing at his own 41-yard line. He averages just 6 yards per punt return. And here is Ernster. Carr moves forward. And brought down quickly. But Chris Carr took a chance and cost him, lost some yardage on the play after the 40-yard punt. A loss of 3 on the return for Carr. But the Raiders again with good field position to start things off. Tied at 7 here in the 2nd quarter. Well, there have been some upsets around the NFL on this Week 10 Sunday. Oakland is trying to join the party here. Tied at 7 with Denver. Here's Walter throwing off his back foot down the sideline and knocked away. Good break up there by Champ Bailey in a matchup with Randy Moss. Some help from Nick Ferguson ranging over from his safety position.
They tried the old double move on Champ Bailey. He doesn't fall for it. See, he covers it low and even the high throw. Watch how he plays the ball so beautifully. Just impeccable timing to get the jump, playing the ball at its highest point. There is no better cornerback in the National Football League than what you're going to find in Champ Bailey.
On a 2nd and 10 for Oakland. Little misdirection, rush is coming. Walter will set it up and throw to Jordan. Has some room. Lamont Jordan into Denver territory and finally bottled up just shy of the 35-yard line by Ferguson. That's a 21-yard pass play, and that's getting the running back involved.
This is a beautifully timed play. Well called by the offensive coordinator, Tom Walsh. Been under heat here in Oakland, but you can see he's setting the table for this offense to make plays. Anytime you can get more offensive blockers than you have defenders and still get the ball in the hands of Lamont Jordan, it's going to go for a big play. I thought it was well timed and well designed. Excellent execution by the offensive players for the Oakland Raiders.
Last season, Jordan had 70 catches for the Raiders. He had 8 at the halfway point this season. Again, the inside handoff, it's Crockett. And Zach Crockett seeing a lot more action that he's accustomed to in the running game. Al Wilson combining along with Myers to bring him down. It's a 3-yard gain.
On the previous possession by the Oakland Raiders, they had 8 plays for 33 yards. Didn't result into any points, but they're keeping their defense well rested in this ball game. They're playing the Denver Broncos head up. I'm seeing some drastic improvements in this offense from what we saw in the Monday night game against Seattle.
Couldn't get worse. A 16-0 loss and a low point for the Raiders this season. Walker looking downfield and broken up. Had his man open for a moment, Courtney Anderson, but could not make the connection to the tight end. 3rd and 7 coming up. Don't miss a play, a stat, or a story with CBS Sportsline Sunday Game Center. Follow every game with lightning fast scoring and play the hottest head-to-head trivia game on the web. Trivia Tower. It's all free at CBSSportsline.com.
Andrew Walter actually had Randy Moss wide open going down the middle of the field. He holds onto the ball just another split second. Randy Moss came wide open.
On a 3rd and 7. Here's Walter. Protection breaking down, and Walter is dumped. Al Wilson getting in there defensively along with Veal.
Well, they actually get the pressure there, but on the previous play, you go ahead and roll it. You're going to see Randy Moss coming open down the middle of the football field. And watch, here's Randy Moss right here, and that's where you can get the ball. You hold on to another split second. He comes open, and you have a touchdown.
They are going to try a long field goal attempt with Janikowski. 55 yards. His long on the season is 51. Janikowski trying to give Oakland the lead. He's got it. A 55-yarder for Sebastian Janikowski. Raiders with a 10-7 lead, and he had enough distance to make it from 65. Big kick, Janikowski. Yard field goal. Janikowski ties his own record for longest in Raiders history, and a 10-7 lead now for Oakland. 7:28 to play in this first half. Ryan Clark is the deep man. He's the rookie out of North Carolina State, ran track in college. Janikowski kicked it out of bounds his last attempt off the tee. This one will stay in, and Clark will take it out of the end zone. Here's Clark stopping, taking it along the sideline, and then brought down as he crossed the 25-yard line by Michael Huff. Well, the Raiders have a new twist on their radio broadcast. Today, the game is being broadcast in Navajo. It's the second time this year. KTNN, the voice of the Navajo Nation from Window Rock, Arizona, the 50,000-watt signature station. L.A. Williams and Ray Sassi call the action. Sassi is a icon in Navajo Nation. It's like the Jim Nance of Navajo.
There you go. That's awesome.
So it's
doing a good job as well.
Yeah, we don't mind having competition. Handoff. It's Damian Nash. Nash, who is a former member of the Tennessee Titans, picks up 7 yards on the carry. And we get an NFL Today update to New York and James Brown.
All right, and Eagle, Solomon Wilcox.
Also, Dallas actually has other receivers.
Oh, by the way,
I didn't know.
There's some other guys who can play, who can catch it and run it.
On a 2nd and 3. Wow, collision. And Nash got nailed by Turdell Sands, a loss of 2 on the play.
Turdell Sands doing an excellent job of getting in the backfield. Not only just getting the penetration, but actually making the tackle once you get back there. This is a much improved defense. We told you about it in terms of how the secondary is played. I like the way they're playing up front on that defensive line. Warren Sapp has provided excellent leadership within their linebackers. What you're getting from Sam Williams Kurt Morrison and Thomas Howard, you can't ask them to do a better job.
And a 3-receiver set now on a 3rd and 5. There was movement there. Plummer steps up, and Plummer is sacked. Flag down, as mentioned. Looked like the right side of the Denver line had jumped.
Before the snap, false start number 75. Penalty has to be enforced, 5 yards. Repeat 3rd down.
And that is Adam Meadows. We've got no word on George Foster. Meadows is in at right tackle. He's the veteran former Indianapolis Colt who was out of football for the last couple of years before signing a free agent deal with the Broncos.
Yeah, and right now, this Oakland Raiders defense, they're playing like a team on fire. They're very aggressive coming off the ball. Warren Sapp, Tommy Kelly, Derek Burgess, the speed off the corner. He and Tyler Brayton doing an excellent job of collapsing the pocket and putting pressure on Jake Plummer and keeping him contained in that backfield.
This is a 3rd and 10. Out of the shotgun, handoff, and Bell with a stutter step and a gain of 1. Kirk Morrison on defense making plays. The Oakland native. Denver forced a punt.
All right, now Rob Ryan's just got every guy in a gap. They have nowhere to go with the football. They can't run it, nor can they pass protect with any consistency for Jake Plummer.
This is starting to look like the Denver offense from the first few weeks of this NFL season, not the one that we've seen the last couple of weeks put points on the board. Ernster, the punter. Here's Carr. Has some room from the 25, trying to turn the corner. And Carr stays on his feet. So Chris Carr able to make something out of nothing with a 7-yard return, a 46-yard punt. And the Raiders get it back, leading 10-7 in the second. Oakland Raiders came in averaging 11.5 points per game, lowest in the NFL. They put up 10 so far in the first half. 4:52 to go in this second quarter. And a 3-point lead over the Denver Broncos. On the handoff, Justin Fargas thrown down. Good play by Michael Myers, who has been everywhere. That is a loss of 3. Let's talk about Andrew Walter.
Well, so far today, I think he's been very good. Getting the ball out, finding the open receivers, not caught holding on to the football, not taking sacks, but giving his receivers opportunity to catch the football today. So if you're Andrew Walter, you come in knowing, get the ball out to your tight ends, to your running backs. Only 1 sack on the day so far for Andrew Walter, completing 8 of 15 passes.
And no big mistakes. That's been a big key as well for the youngster. That one is underneath and short of the first down. Alvis Whitted. Darren Williams in on coverage as we get another NFL Today update. Back to New York. JB.
All right, Seneca Wallace doing a nice job at QB for the Seattle Seahawks. This is his 2nd touchdown toss of the day. This one to Jeremy Stevens, who looks to be moving along pretty well, fellas. 14-10 Seattle over St. Louis. Back to Ian and Solomon.
Well, Jeremy Stevens involved in that incident with Tyler Brayton on Monday night. Jerry Porter has checked in for the Oakland Raiders. So we'll keep an eye on him on this 3rd and 2, or maybe not, because there's a timeout. So timeout Oakland. They still have 2 remaining. And the clock stops with 3:33 to play first half. Raiders lead it 10-7. 3rd and 2, and a pivotal play in terms of time remaining in this first half. Raiders get a first down and can almost ensure themselves a lead heading into the locker room. Zach Crockett in the backfield for Oakland on a 3rd and 2. Handoff. It is Crockett. And Crockett has got it. A first down. Needed 2 yards. Got about 2.5. And that inside run has been working for the Oakland Raiders today. Gerard Warren making the stuff for Denver.
Give a lot of credit to Zach Crockett for picking up yards after contact. He's a strong runner, because I believe the Denver Broncos had the line of scrimmage well defended, getting extra linebackers up to the line of scrimmage and in every crease trying to shut down the Raiders' run game.
And he's one of the real leaders on the offensive side of the ball. They have a bunch on defense. 1st and 10 for Oakland. Look out, Walter finds the open man, Fargas, and stumbles towards the sideline. Big gainer to the 35-yard line. Champ Bailey touches him up. It's a 22-yard hookup.
And this is why you don't want to blitz, because while they come off the corner, John Lynch is unblocked. They actually leave Justin Fargas wide open. No one accounted for Fargas coming out of the backfield expecting max protection, but that's one of the adjustments made by the offensive coordinator, Tom Walsh, not keeping all the running backs in to protect and block the blitzer like John Lynch, saying, hey, just get out of there, we'll find you and get you the football.
Raiders are on the move, a 1st and 10 for the 35. Stutter step and a loss for Fargas. John Engelberger making that play for Denver, a loss of 2. Clock is moving. Down to 2:15 and counting left in this first half. Oakland with a 10-7 advantage.
And that's why you see Fargas in the game maybe a little bit more than Lamont Jordan. His ability to catch the ball out of the backfield and then break tackles and make some plays for Archel.
We hit the 2-minute warning here in the second quarter. It's Oakland in front in this AFC West rivalry. Don't forget, coming up, it's the Sprint halftime report. JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer have the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's all coming up. A wild Sunday in the National Football League on the Sprint halftime report. 2 minutes to play in this first half. It's Oakland 10, Denver 7. John Matson is in the backfield. The tight end shifts out of that crouch. On 2nd and 11. Walker, deep drop. Deep throw, wide open, and it's Matson. The rookie out of Utah, tackled by Bailey, and Oakland is in good position now after the 25-yard pass play.
Well, they take advantage. Watch, they're going to bring him over on the left side. He gets open simply because they use Randy Moss as a decoy to drive Champ Bailey deep into the end zone. No one covers the flat. DJ Williams can't get over fast enough. Champ Bailey can't come off the coverage to Randy Moss quick enough to make the tackle.
On first down, Fargas runs into a crowd, and Al Wilson plays like he's multiple tacklers out there, with Gerard Warren also helping out. 2nd and 11.
Right now, Andrew Walters has 11 completions to 9 different receivers. There you can see the young quarterback coming to age, growing in his comfort level in this football game. Really has his offense on the move for Archel.
I keep in mind also, this is the first time in Walter's career he is seeing a defense for the second time. He played Denver once before. They handle the pressure. Walter throws short of the goal line. Fighting for it is Williams, and he's thrown backwards. Now, forward progress is not going to be enough for the first down. Nick Ferguson stuck his hat in there for Denver. We are down to 1:04 left in this first half, and another timeout. Oakland with a chance to add to its lead, currently 10-7. One timeout remaining, 1:04 left in this first half, and a 10-7 lead. They've got a 3rd and short coming up. Rashard Lee is checked in for the Raiders, as has Ronald Curran. So a 3-receiver set on a 3rd and 1. 9th play of the drive. They are inside the Denver 5. On 3rd down, Walter steps, fires, incomplete. Alvis Whitted in the neighborhood.
That was the first incompletion by Andrew Walter on this drive. Had been 4-4 for 67 yards. This one, he just needs to put a little more air on it to Alvis Whitted. This one is a line drive, and you could see Whitted was coming open over in the corner of the end zone. All you have to do is drop it over the coverage and into the back of the end zone, as opposed to throwing the line drive.
So they will settle for the short field goal attempt. Janikowski, who converted from 55 yards away. This is a 20-yard field goal, and it's good. With 57 seconds left on the clock, Oakland has extended its lead, 13-7 on Denver. Broncos are stunned here in the first half. Half have already topped their season average of 11.5 points per game. It's Brian Clark, deep man for Denver, with just under a minute to play in this second quarter. Cecil Sapp back there with him. Raiders coming in had allowed a league high 44 sacks this season. one sack given up by this Oakland offensive line here today. For Denver, just listless after the big win in Pittsburgh a week ago. Here's Clark returning from the 5, and a spin move across the 20, loses the football. Pema was there for Denver to recover it. Chris Carr slipping in on special teams for Oakland.
And watch the run. You have to be able to protect the football. You cannot risk fumbling the ball, but you see the hit. And then Carl Pema coming up with the recovery after the fumble.
51 seconds remain in this first half. And the line of scrimmage is the 22. Denver has done damage late stages of halves. Plummer throwing. And it's complete to Kirkus. Able to cut it out across the 35-yard line. A first down for Denver, covering 15 yards. Thomas Howard over there defensively for Oakland.
Right now, Plummer's going to put this Denver Bronco offense in that 2-minute offense and trying to get some more points before halftime.
Plummer throwing. He's got Alexander over the middle. The tight end is tossed down at the 41-yard line, a gain of 4. Michael Huff, the safety there, had the assignment on Alexander and a timeout taken. Final moment. In the month of November, the Broncos have put up a 32-11 record since Mike Shanahan took over back in 1995. A heavy favorite here today against the Oakland Raiders, but they trail 13-7. And Plummer is sacked. Wrapped up by Warren Sapp. Lance Johnstone applied that pressure initially, allowing Sapp to break free, and only 8 seconds remain. Shotgun. Plummer. It'll be the final play of this first half, and it ends out near midfield to Rod Smith, finally getting involved offensively. One half of play complete. The Oakland Raiders with a 13-7 lead on the Denver Broncos. We'll come back. The Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Protecting their quarterback in today's game.
I think you used the word in the first half, crisp, and that's not a word that's been associated with the Oakland offense very often this season.
Well, you can see the offensive coordinator, Tom Walsh, has made some very good adjustments that the Broncos defense simply were not prepared for.
Oakland to start out with the football here in the second half. Chris Carr, the return man. And Carr with a stutter step as he takes it to the 35-yard line. That's where the Raiders will set up shop after the 30-yard return. Look at the first half numbers. The Raiders outgained the Broncos in the first half behind 130 passing yards. Andrew Walter, really one of his best stretches in his young career.
And if you're the Denver Broncos, that's where you're really concerned. The fact they've turned it over twice, setting the table for the Raiders to be able to do some things on offense. You have to give a lot of credit, I think, to the kicker, Shane Leckler, the punter. He's done an excellent job of helping the Oakland Raiders win field position.
Crockett. He'll get the carry again. And Zach Crockett, his 6th touch here today. That's a 2-yard gain. 6 carries, 39 yards. Al Wilson, the Pro Bowl middle linebacker, in on that stop for Denver.
If you're Oakland here in the second half, I think you're doing the right thing. Got to get the run game going. You see Andrew Walter by half. All of his touchdowns that he's thrown so far have come in the first half. Has yet to complete a pass for a touchdown in the second half of any of the ball games he's played in 2006.
Archell telling us there are a lot of discussions during the week with Andrew Walter to try to keep him in a positive frame of mind. You know that frustration comes into play as Jordan is gang tackled. John Engelberger leading that charge. It's a gain of 1 for Lamont Jordan.
And even the center, Jake Grove for the Raiders, said that, hey, the young quarterback, Andrew Walter, he's doing as much as he can do, that we have to do better around him. We have to do a better job of supporting him and making plays, whether it's the running backs, Lamont Jordan and Justin Fargas, or the receivers on the outside making plays, catching the football.
And Jake Grove is back in there. Adam True spelled him earlier at the start of the second quarter. Shotgun. Walter throws A strike along the sideline, and it's caught by Williams for an Oakland first down, 10-yard pickup.
And there you see the protection from the offensive line, but also Walter's doing a good job of getting rid of the ball. He's finding his receiver, seeing him look off, the defense looks to his right, then comes back, clear on the left side, getting the ball over to Williams, who makes the catch for the quarterback to move the chain.
Let's shift to the other side. What does Denver have to do differently? What have you seen defensively for them?
I think they got to do a better job of mixing up their pressures as opposed to just dropping off in coverage, something they did in the Indianapolis Colts game. Peyton Manning just picked them apart and ate them alive.
On the toss, Jordan looking for blockers and is spilled out shy of the 50-yard line. No gain on the play. So Lamont Jordan, again, having a tough time creating yardage. It's 8 carries for 4 yards. He does have the touchdown.
Well, you're not going to run sideline to sideline and run around the speed that Denver has on their defense. You've got to come downhill and attack them head on. And Denver's got to do what we talked about, is get some players on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage. It's going to shut down the run game and at the same time provide pressure on the quarterback.
On a 2nd and 10 now for the Raiders. We're just underway here in the second half. Walter steps and throws incomplete. And a chance to find Alvis Whitted. But Darren Williams there defensively, the young corner.
So they're only rushing 4 defenders, so there's no blitz pressure on Andrew Walter, who does throw a strike, but give credit to Darren Williams, the second-year cornerback, I should say, to break up that pass intended for Alvis Whitted.
Williams, he's been a feisty performer out of Oklahoma State. Had 8 tackles last week, 2 fumble recoveries, but also separated his shoulder. That's why he's not returning punts today for Denver. On a 3rd and 10, Walter avoiding the rush, throws incomplete at the feet of Randy Moss, and the Raiders will punt.
And here's where you see the inaccuracy on the quarterback's part, Andrew Walter. He's a big guy. He's not prone to getting out of the pocket. And so while you have Randy Moss getting open, see, this is a ball. See how it's poorly thrown at the feet of Randy Moss? Whenever Andrew Walter has to escape out of the pocket and get on the move, he tends to lose his accuracy throwing the football.
Walter actually had some room in front of him if he contemplated running for that first down, but he saw Moss open. Leckler the punt. And this one does take a roll to the end zone, a touchback to the 20. 51-yard punt, but a net of 31 for Shane Leckler. Oakland has the 13-7 lead in the 3rd. 5th consecutive sellout here at McAfee Coliseum for the Oakland Raiders. They lead it 13-7. Broncos' first touch of this second half. Bootleg, Plummer throws complete out across the 35-yard line. Rod Smith takes a shot from Schweigert. That's a 15-yard hookup.
Oh, it's an excellent throw by Plummer. Now, Plummer's one of those quarterbacks who can throw with great accuracy while on the move. You see Rod Smith coming over the middle. This ball's thrown, but he takes a lick from Stuart Schweigert, but that ball's thrown with great accuracy, even though Jake Plummer had to roll out and was on the move.
So Rod Smith, who's coming off some issues of his own, a shoulder injury, but well enough to play here today. Another bootleg to the other side, and Plummer this time finds Alexander, the tight end. And Denver picking up chunks of yardage on their first 2 plays from scrimmage in this second half. Asamoah with the tackle.
You see the change in tempo for the Denver Broncos on offense, because in the first half, Jake Plummer kind of came out with a slow start, throwing a couple of interceptions on their first few possessions and just kind of missing the mark. Then got it going in the second quarter with an excellent toss to Javon Walker. It resulted into their only touchdown so far in the game.
Denver is in Oakland territory. A couple of bang-bang plays to get things started in this second half. To the ground game. Bell, stiff arm and pushed out of bounds. Thomas Howard would have none of it. Out along the sideline, a gain of 1.
Well, that's where they really have struggled on offense. The Denver Broncos, something you can't say often, their inability to run the football, only 26 yards rushing so far in the ball game. And they've had to come out and throw it more than run it. It's not something you tend to get from a Mike Shanahan coached football team.
They come in with the number 3 rushing offense in the NFL, averaging over 150 yards on the ground per game. Damian Nash now checks in. Again, Mike Bell who has been a talented rookie out of Arizona this season, inactive today, so that Shanahan could get a look at Nash. Plummer, play fake, steps up. Plummer avoids it and goes down. But Jake Plummer was able to scramble away from Lance Johnstone. Derek Burgess there defensively, a 5-yard pickup.
Well, Burgess just makes an incredible play. Watch how he beats the tight end, Steven Alexander. That forces Plummer to press the line of scrimmage, something he told us he would do. Had he bailed out and gotten deeper into his drop, it would have been sacked for a huge loss. Instead, he uses his mobility to create a positive gain and create a wonderful third down opportunity. 3rd and 3, you should be able to convert right here.
Meadows in for Foster at right tackle. Coach's decision, no injury to George Foster. This is 3rd down. Plummer throws a high throw and a flag down. Pass was hauled in out along the sideline by Nash. Huff there to lay out. Short of the 1st down by about a yard. And the penalty is going to work against Denver. It's a moot point.
And a better throw, actually, Nash makes the catch and is probably able to extend beyond the 1st down mark.
Illegal formation. Number 82 covered the man inside of him. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
Well, it was coming back either way. So Steven Alexander is the guilty party, and they'll redo 3rd down after they back it up.
So you're probably facing a 3rd and 8. See what Mike Shanahan has for you here. One of the best play callers, I think, in the National Football League. Does an excellent job of setting up the defense. I think without the running game at his disposal, it's a little bit more difficult to mask what you want to do in the passing game.
Nickel package for the Raiders on a 3rd and 8. Plummer operating out of the gun, a quick count. Rush coming, avoids Johnstone. Plummer, tuck and run. Warren Sapp, still fleet of foot. 33-year-old 300-pounder. Johnstone slowed him down, and then Sapp finished him off, his 2nd sack.
Give Johnstone credit for forcing Plummer to step up in the pocket. You step up, and then the relentless pursuit of Warren Sapp comes away with the sack. Right now, the Oakland Raiders defense, they're getting after the Denver Broncos.
So the Denver drive is thwarted. And another punt for Paul Ernster. High punt. Carr tries to move forward to fair catch it. And it'll take a bounce and touched up right around the 26-yard line of Oakland. Sapp having a big year, the veteran getting it done here today. Back on October the 15th, the Denver Broncos beat the Oakland Raiders 13-3. Oakland unable to muster up much of anything offensively. They've been better today, and they've got the 13-7 lead. Walter, he gets hit hard as he throws it away, but Walter takes a shot. He's a big kid, 6'6", 230 pounds. DJ Williams just laid him out.
He's coming off the top, and Larry Coyer, the defense coordinator for the Denver Broncos, are now starting to send some blitzers and not going to allow Andrew Walter to become even more comfortable sitting in the pocket. You have to get hits on the quarterback to force the errant pass.
Shanahan telling us, hey, we're not blitzing as much as we did a year ago. Great defenses normally don't have to blitz. You can create pressure with your front four and with your schemes. Pump fake, Walter throws it away.
And nearly intercepted.
Yeah, that was a dangerous pass, a floater as he sensed pressure again, and he's gun shy right now.
He's not getting sacked, only 1 sack on the day, but he's taking some shots like this. See, he's going down, and he's going down hard. Kennard Lang coming off the corner. You see Elvis Dumerville also getting there, so both defensive ends meeting at the quarterback.
And maybe this is how the game is going to change for Denver, because the Broncos are not getting an offense started here, no rhythm. We'll see if the defense can set up the offense as they did earlier this season. On a 3rd and 10. Here's Walter. Crowd is hushed. Walter looking deep and hauled in. Alvis with it. They're trying to rip the ball free in Denver territory out across the 45-yard line. That's a 33-yard pass and catch to win it.
If you're going to be effective as an offense, you have to make teams pay when they blitz you. You see John Lynch blitzing, that means Dominique Foxworth is matched up in man-to-man coverage against Alvis Whitted. Whitted wins the one-on-one matchup, and that more than anything will make Larry Coyer call off the dogs. Oh, we tried to blitz him, and he made us pay for it, and now we'll have to call him off a little bit. So give credit to Andrew Walker for making the play.
And the protection was there for Walter as Lamont Jordan muscling his way for a 5-yard gain up the gut. Well-earned yards for Jordan. John Engelberger there along that defensive line for Denver.
Now, I can't speak enough on the job that the Raiders are doing picking up those blitzes, because John Lynch never got close to the quarterback. That's not something we saw from this offense on Monday night, despite the fact they're missing their starting guard, Barry Sims, and starting left tackle, Robert Gallery.
So they're going with Chad Slaughter and Corey Hulsey on that left side of the line. This is a 2nd and 5. Jordan again. Jordan dishing out some punishment. Wow. And it was Al Wilson who took the brunt of that hit. A 3-yard gain. DJ Williams also there defensively. And Jordan and Wilson exchanging pleasantries.
Sometimes you're the hammer and sometimes you're the nail. Al Wilson, used to being the hammer, but I'm not so sure on that one. Looked like Lamont Jordan was playing the role of the 10-pound hammer.
Jordan listed at 5'10", 230. Wilson 6 foot, 240. A 4-time Pro Bowler and the emotional leader of this Denver defense. And a timeout called by Oakland. They'll face a 3rd and 2 with 6:37 to play in the 3rd. It's the Raiders right now in front, 13-7 against the Broncos. Controlled this series in recent years. They've won 18 of the last 23 meetings against Oakland, including 6 of the last 7. After the timeout, Raiders on a 3rd and 2. Walker protected but too high. He floated it upstairs for Rashard Lee. And a golden opportunity wasted for the Oakland Raiders.
Wasted by Andrew Walter because Rashard Lee was open. The ball is clearly thrown too high for Lee to come down with it. And the protection was excellent by the offensive line.
Well, Sebastian Janikowski, a 51-yard field goal attempt. If he converts, you're looking at a 2-score differential. From 51 yards away, Janikowski, no good. Off to the right. Al Wilson, the fiery, emotional middle linebacker, celebrating as the Denver defense has held. They're within striking distance here in the 3rd. Denver Broncos have to feel pretty fortunate that they trail by only 6. They've been outplayed here today. This is a 1st and 10 for Denver, looking for the deep ball. Plummer throwing and picked off. Washington, his 2nd of the day. And Plummer has been intercepted 3 times by Oakland. Just a terrible pass by Jake Plummer as he is looking for something to get this offense jump-started.
I have no idea what he was thinking because the defenders were well on top of Rod Smith, and he just throws the ball up for grabs. This ball had to get caught in the wind that doesn't exist in the stadium. The 3rd interception on the day, and that's something that Mike Shanahan said, what were we thinking? 3 interceptions, and we said coming in that it had to be steady as it goes for Jake Plummer. You cannot turn the ball over because turnovers are the great equalizer that really brings the Oakland Raiders up to your level.
It goes down as a 1-play punt for the Denver offense as the Raiders take over. 1st down at their own 18-yard line, leading at 13-7. Broncos defense is coming. They handle it. Walter throws. Open man. Champ Bailey in coverage against Randall Williams, who has been a factor here today from the tight end position. That's a 20-yard hookup.
Oh, he's going to be wide open. They blitz and they send everyone, but watch how they pick it up. Even John Lynch, 47 on the right of your screen, and they try to use a lineman to cover Williams. Champ Bailey really does an excellent job. He was defending one-on-one on Randy Moss. Came off this coverage, came over to make a tackle.
Williams limping just a little bit as he came to the sideline. 5 catches, 61 yards. And on the give, Justin Fargas gets engulfed by Gerard Warren. Loss of 4 on the play. Hey, you can get complete NFL coverage and follow all the action online while you watch the game with NFL.com's Game Center. It's all at NFL.com.
Justin Fargas is wondering what happened to the blocking. 7 carries for a negative 7 yards for Fargas so far in the game.
Does have that one big catch, though, that covered some important yardage for a first down. Walter throws and skies it high. In the area of Whitted, John Lynch over there defensively, and Whitted was open. Now facing a 3rd and 14.
And be careful if you're the Raiders. You don't want to start turning the ball over. You know the Denver Broncos are going to come after you. Even on 3rd and 14, you're probably going to get some blitz pressure, forcing a quick throw where they want to make the tackle in the secondary before you can hit the first down marker. But if you're Andrew Walter, just make good decisions and protect the football.
Raiders entered action with the 2nd most turnovers in the NFL, 21. They are yet to turn it over today. Walter is sacked. Kennard Lang, the veteran, his 5th sack of the season.
It's a wonderful job of pass rushing by Kennard Lang. He's coming off the top, working against the right tackle, Langston Walker. See the spin move, he comes underneath. Just speed and ability of Kennard Lang, a one-man wrecking machine. They only sent in 4 guys to rush the quarterback. Kennard Lang got home very quickly.
So after the turnover, Oakland does nothing offensively. Leckler punting to Kirkus. And this one dies at the 37-yard line. So Denver gets it back. No harm done on the 3rd interception of the day for Plummer. Walter unable to take advantage. Back for the Raiders. He's had some deep discussions with former Raider quarterback Jim Plunkett, who can absolutely relate to what Walter is going through in his first year as a starter.
Trying to encourage him, hang through the tough times because the sun will come up. You just have to weather the storm.
Spin move by Damian Nash. And turns into a 4-yard gain for Nash. Fresh off the practice squad, getting an opportunity for Mike Shanahan. Tonight on CBS, a Hate Creek carries now 10 yards for Nash in his 2nd year out of Missouri. Mike Shanahan telling us Nash is elusive. He's got good cutback ability, but can still run over people. And he'll get another opportunity here up the middle and trying to carry defenders with him. Turdell Sands, tough to bring with you. 3-yard gain. Sands checks in at 335 pounds in his 4th year from Tennessee Chattanooga.
And the one thing that you can see from this Oakland Raider defense, on the backside, they're not getting cut off. It's something that Art Shell talked about. The Denver Broncos, their offensive line, they like to get you blocked on the front side and then cut you off on the backside, and that's where Damian Nash was looking to cut it back and looking for room to run on that backside.
Now Bell checks in on 3rd down. This is a 3rd and 3. Little flip, and Bell goes down. Well short of a first down. Kirk Morrison helped make sure of it. Morrison makes the play, and the Raiders defense does the job again.
Well, they have done a good job of shutting down Tatum Bell in the running game for the Denver Broncos. It's been a steady wall of defenders really getting into the backfield, shutting down the run game and putting pressure on Jake Plummer, forcing 3 turnovers on the day. Really has been the key to help this Raiders football team take a lead as we sit here in the ball game.
It'll be Ernster kicking to Chris Carr. Carr, fair catch. And he hauls it in just across the 25-yard line after the 32-yard punt. So Andrew Walter will step out onto the field again for this Raiders offense. Denver now a half game behind San Diego for the top spot in
group, well coached and playing motivated football.
On first down. Same play again, and it's to Zach Crockett. Denver's been ready for that on that interior defense. Al Wilson leading the charge, a gain of 1.
Trying to catch this defense slanting one way so they can pop it and hit it back going the other way.
And Solomon, the law of averages will tell you Denver's going to come up with a turnover at some point if you look at the numbers throughout the season for the Oakland offense.
Well, they've just been too good, particularly Champ Bailey. He already has 5 interceptions. They have 8 in their first 8 games of the year. He has 5 of them, so that tells you just how well he's playing.
2nd and 9 for the Raiders. Walter steps up, throws too high for Randall Williams. He's been a featured part of this Oakland offense so far. Darren Williams was over there in coverage, DJ Williams as well.
Now, Andrew Walter did a good job of getting rid of the football. You talk about how Williams has been one of the featured targets, so have the running backs. You use the tight ends and the running backs to help save your quarterback from taking hits and getting sacked. Tend to get rid of the ball quicker when you involve the tight ends and running backs in the passing game.
And the pace of this game has slowed down considerably with 3 and outs. This is a 3rd and 9 nickel package for Denver defensively. There's Walker stepping up. Walter shovels it ahead to Rashard Lee. A flag down as Lee comes up shy of a first down across the 30-yard line. But a penalty marker, as mentioned. It's going to work against the Raiders.
Number 64 offense. Penalties declined. 4th down.
Jake Grove, the center, trying to buy some extra time for Andrew Walter, and the Raiders with a very brisk 3 and out.
Yeah, it's one of those plays I think Walter could have maybe done a better job of getting rid of the ball sooner. But he talked about that. He said it's a real, tough thing when you're wanting to try to wait for someone to get open and find that open guy, try to pick up the first down, but then you're holding on to the football way too long and you end up getting a sack. So that's something that the young quarterback is trying to learn.
Winding down here in the 3rd quarter, Leckler will punt yet again. Kirkus had the big punt return earlier at 42 yards. Booming kick by Leckler. Backpedaling Kirkus. Breaks 1 tackle. Flag is down as he stays on his feet across the 20-yard line. And loose football. Raiders come up with it.
Wow.
Schweigert on the recovery. And a penalty marker down. Sam Williams came down along with Kirk Morrison to help make the hit on Kirkus. Schweigert in the right spot. Let's see what this penalty is before we jump ahead. Nick Ferguson and the rest of the Broncos very interested in what the officials have to say here. Kirkus new to this role. Remember, Darren Williams, shoulder injury, normally would be returning the punts. Bill Levy.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 23 of the kicking team. Went out of bounds and stayed out of bounds. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 4th down.
Wow. So the Raiders, who come up with a loose football, the play does not stand. Schweigert's recovery is nullified. And it was Chris Carr who was called on that penalty. Now the Oakland Raiders, even when they make a play, can't seem to catch a break, and Denver avoids. And now Kirkus is waiting at the 37-yard line of Denver. Leckler on the do-over. Another big kick. Kirkus from the 25. Breaks 1 tackle. Kirkus stays upright. And Denver will have it at the 40-yard line. Kirk Morrison making the play on special teams. A 57-yard punt, 15-yard return. We'll keep you updated. NFL Today update and JB.
And Solomon.
Well, JB, you just look at the way the NFC East is set up. Dallas can find its way into the postseason if they keep it up. And Arizona is really struggling. Plummer, a busted play. Plummer scooting forward as he picks up 3 yards. Could have been a loss. Antaj Hawthorne chasing him down along that defensive line for Oakland. Coming up tonight on CBS, a 60 Minutes tribute to the memory and many talents of our friend and colleague, Ed Bradley. That's coming up tonight on 60 Minutes. Cecil Sapp has checked in for Denver. Only 15 seconds remain in this 3rd quarter. Damian Nash in the backfield for the Broncos. Bootleg. Plummer. Rolling pocket. Fires to the tight end, Alexander. And that should be good for a first down. A 7-yard gain. That's how the third quarter will end. Well, Denver here in the fourth quarter. But Denver at midfield with a new set of downs to work with. Iron Eagle, Solomon Wilcox, the rest of our CBS crew. Denver looking to improve to 7-2. Raiders trying to win their first divisional game of the season. Plummer, off play action, it's Alexander. Turns it upfield. And Steven Alexander to the 35-yard line. That's a 15-yard pickup.
Anytime you get the reverse bootleg action from Plummer, see him coming one way, you see Alexander slipping behind the line of scrimmage, finds himself wide open. Plummer smartly gets him the ball in a hurry so he can run and pick up some yards after the catch. Excellent play call by Mike Shanahan, well executed by Plummer and Alexander.
Damian Nash in the backfield. Denver finding some rhythm now on offense, something that we haven't seen throughout the afternoon. Fake the handoff. Plummer throws to the sideline, and it's Alexander again. Clean catch out along the perimeter and a modest gain of 3 yards.
And it's the same exact play, they just do it from the other side. You see Scheffler coming underneath, number 85, but they go outside to Alexander, who's wide open. And if he doesn't step out of bounds, maybe he can turn up and pick up even more yards.
So a 2nd and 7 now for Denver, 13-7. Oakland leading the Denver Broncos. We are just underway here in the fourth quarter. Brandon Marshall is in. He's a big target, rookie out of Central Florida. 4th-round pick, number 15. Plummer steps, throws, and complete. Nate Jackson hauling it in against Michael Huff, the safety. And now Plummer is spreading it around, and the tight ends are paying off major dividends. That's a 24-yard pass play.
Offense in the National Football League is so much about timing, tempo, and rhythm. Watch this excellent throw, excellent touch on the pass from Plummer to Nate Jackson, because Huff was in perfect position. If that ball's underthrown by a hair, Huff is going to intercept it and return it for a touchdown. But it goes over his hands and right into the waiting arms of Nate Jackson.
Broncos have been terrific in the red zone. This is a 1st and goal inside the 10. Bootleg again. Plummer throws to Alexander, a spin move, and he's tackled inside the 5 for a gain of 4. Thomas Howard, the linebacker, there defensively.
You try keeping your composure if you're Jake Plummer while the defender is coming right at you. Burgess is in your face applying pressure, but you still have to be able to hit Alexander underneath the coverage with a perfect pass.
4th catch on the drive for Steven Alexander. He came in with just 5 catches on the season. 2nd and goal for the Broncos. Nash in the backfield, trying to take the lead. Nash fumbles the football. Just signed off the practice squad. Damian Nash getting the nod over Mike Bell, and he recovers it.
And how lucky is he to be able to recover? He's saying, get the ball up high. Let's see if Plummer delivers the ball very low. I thought he got it right into the chest of Damian Nash, who did not have his arms, I think, in perfect position to receive it. See, it gets right into his gut, and he doesn't caress the football. You've got to be able to take that handoff and secure the ball after the quarterback puts it right in your gut.
3rd and goal now for the Broncos. Shotgun. Plummer steps, fires, low throw right to the goal line. Rod Smith, but short of the touchdown. Inside the 1, and what do you do if you're Mike Shanahan?
Well, Rod Smith is a playmaker. Now look at the throw. It is a low throw by Plummer. He wishes he could have stepped up. Had he been able to step up, I think he's able to keep that ball much higher. Smith's going to make the catch and take it in for a touchdown. 4th and goal. It appears as though Mike Shanahan has confidence in the offense, but now he's going to call a timeout.
Timeout.
Goal line.
All right, back here in Oakland, and during that timeout, Mike Shanahan must have gotten word from his coaches upstairs that they want to take a look at this catch by Rod Smith as to whether or not he broke the plane for a touchdown.
Well, they definitely gave him the catch.
Yes.
Okay, there's a catch. Okay, the feed is in, but did the ball break the plane before he was touched?
Ooh.
And I think it's worth a challenge because Stuart Schweiger comes over. Now, once he makes the catch, he's still alive. So the fact that he's rolling on the ground with the ball means that he could actually roll into the end zone if he gets there or if the ball breaks the plane before he's touched by Stuart Schweiger. Wow, very difficult to take.
Now, obviously, the ruling on the field was he was down inside the 1. They're going to have to find something among those replays that would force them to overturn it. I didn't see it. I didn't see any of those replays that would indicate conclusively that Rod Smith broke the plane.
I think the only thing we have is
he has to say.
After reviewing the play, the receiver was short. It was a proper spot. No touchdown. Denver will be charged their second timeout.
So now they lose 2 timeouts for the price of 1.
And you're going to go for it. It really makes this 4th down play that much more important.
It is huge.
That it results into a touchdown.
It is 4th and goal inside the 1.
Now, of the 6 passes completed by Jake Plummer on this drive, 5 have gone to the tight ends. Tight ends have been very effective. Look for it to go to either Jackson or Alexander if they decide to pass the ball. It may be a run.
Double tight end set on 4th and goal. Plummer fake the handoff. A floater is caught for the Denver touchdown. Kyle Johnson, the fullback.
Wow.
And the Broncos are an extra point away from taking the lead over Oakland.
Well designed by Mike Shanahan. Plummer had his choice to the end zone. Watch the tight end to this side, and then watch Kyle Johnson just slip out of the backfield. You have 2 Denver Broncos on this side who are wide open.
So the Broncos, the sign of a good football team. Even though you might be outplayed throughout the day, you look up in the 4th quarter, and your team is in front.
Jake Plummer 7 for 7 on the drive, making an excellent play for the touchdown on 4th down for Denver.
The Denver Broncos on a 1-yard touchdown pass. Plummer to Johnson, the fullback, take the lead 14-13. Elam tacking on the extra point. And now Ernster will kick it off for Denver with 11:06 to play in this 4th quarter. Chris Carr waiting for Oakland. Jake Plummer, tremendous on that last drive for Denver. Here's Carr. And brought down. Carr was called on that penalty that cost the Raiders a potential turnover on the last special teams play. Well, some pictures don't even need commentary. That's great stuff. 14-13 Denver here in the 4th quarter. And flags come down. It's going to work against the Raiders.
False start. Number 87 offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
3rd penalty of the day. Alvis Whitted called on that one. Andrew Walter in the 2nd half. Take over, Solomon.
Well, he did a good job in the 1st half, but here in the 2nd half, he's been hit, hurried, and harassed, and simply getting hammered by this Denver Bronco defense. Already sacked once in the 2nd half, but boy, he's been on the ground an awful lot.
Handoff to Fargas. And Fargas trying to dish out some pain along that sideline. Champ Bailey able to stay upright. It's a 1-yard gain for Fargas. NFL Today update back to New York. Here's JB.
Hey, Ian, you may have Ian and Solomon.
Charlie with some seer-like abilities. Steelers playing well against the Saints. But they're taking up the basement right now in the division. 2nd and 14 for the Raiders. And Oakland uses a timeout. Raiders have 1 timeout remaining. Denver has 1 timeout remaining. Broncos have the lead. We are in the 4th. 15 of their last 18 divisional games, including 10 in a row. And now it's the Raiders trailing 14-13 here at the 10:29 mark of the 4th quarter. 2nd halves have been a problem for Andrew Walter in his 1st year as a starter. Pride of Arizona State, just like Jake Plummer on the other side for Denver. And that pass complete. Ronald Curry out on the far side, able to haul it in for a 6-yard gain. 3rd down coming up as we head back to New York. JB, NFL Today update.
Ian, Dallas and Solomon.
Yeah, you just wonder, though, JB, if that Washington loss is going to come back to haunt them at the end of the season. If they come up 1 win shy of a postseason berth. Shotgun for the Raiders. Walker hit as he throws a wobbler, and it's short of a first down. Whitted brings it in, 5-yard pickup, but the Raiders will punt again. And the Denver Broncos defense tightening the screws in this second half.
Oh, Walker's going to take a whop. He gets hit hard by the pass rush, and Whitted also was hit very hard after making the catch. He's going to have to get in the whirlpool again come tomorrow morning.
Maybe this afternoon.
Wouldn't hurt.
His body is just taking shots week in and week out. Leckler able to handle that snap. Sailing kick, and this one is going to take a bounce.
How does he do it?
He is all world. Shane Leckler is all world. Ricky Brown getting down the field to touch it up. That's a 55-yard punt. Every time you think, oh, that one's going to roll into the end zone, it just dies.
I wish you could teach me how to keep my 5-iron on the green from 175 yards out. He's miraculous.
Ask him. 5-iron. You hit your 5-iron, 175?
Yeah. How about you?
Oh, hit my driver 175 if I'm lucky. All right, so the Denver Broncos are pinned at their own 2-yard line, and now the Raiders defense, which has made plays this season that have translated into wins. Those back-to-back wins over Arizona and Pittsburgh, it was the defense that was productive, and here's a perfect opportunity.
And if you're Jake Plummer, you have to be careful with the football, even on the exchange from center to quarterback and quarterback to running back.
Fake the handoff to Bell. Instead, he will throw. Catch made by Nate Jackson. And Jackson is spilled out across the 10-yard line. That's exactly what the Broncos needed. A 9-yard gain. Jackson in his 4th year from Menlo College, former wide receiver. That's Division III Menlo. I don't even know their nickname. I can't help you. As Jackson heads to the sideline.
And if you're the Raiders, you might want to be heads up. They may just throw the ball to one of their tight ends because the tight ends have been very active here in the final quarter. They're starting to get into the secondary, and Plummer's doing an excellent job of getting them the football. 2nd and 1. Handoff. It's Bell. And a first down for Denver. Wonder if we'll see Damian Nash again after fumbling the football in dangerous territory with Denver going in for the go-ahead touchdown. Nash was able to recover it. But Tatum Bell is the featured back. Mike Shanahan made that clear. Just wanted to see what Nash brought to the table.
Remember, Tatum Bell shared a lot of time last year with Mike Anderson. Mike Anderson moved on via free agency to the Baltimore Ravens. Tatum Bell has to be the guy to step up and be the guy that can carry the ball for 16 consecutive games and help put games on ice here in the fourth quarter.
Had 921 yards last year as a backup, and there's the run by Bell. The Tatum Bell now running with a purpose. Thomas Howard makes that stop for Oakland. That's 11 carries, 32 yards for Bell.
Tatum Bell is very decisive. So you see they get the blocking here, but watch how he starts here and then gets coming downhill. This is the one cut that they want from the running back operating in this offense. I don't think any team does a better job of getting their ball carriers to the second level than what Mike Shanahan has put together with the Denver Broncos. 367 rush yards in the fourth quarter, third most in the National Football League this year.
Setting up a 2nd and 1 now for Denver. 7 minutes to play. Bootleg, Plummer under duress and throws. We'll see where they spot the football. Michael Huff made that play as Jackson was able to haul it in.
Well, they've been running this play here in the fourth quarter. Jackson coming underneath, quick flip to the tight end. You see Huff is all over it, but was he able to make the tackle before Jackson got beyond the first down mark?
Yeah, I don't think he has it. On a 2nd and 1, that spot looks to be a little bit short. Talking about an inch, if anything. Yep. 3rd and about an inch.
You got to expect Mike Shanahan to dial up a run play. I've seen him on 3rd and inches. When everyone in the stadium expects you to run the football, he'll throw it. He's one of the best at keeping a defense off balance and doing what you least expect.
The former head coach of the Raiders back in 1988 and 89. An ugly divorce with the Raiders organization. Has had so much success as the head man of the Denver Broncos. Plummer has found a rhythm. 10 straight completions after a horrible start. 3rd and inches. Plummer. First man through. It's a first down. Churning the leg. Cecil Sapp. 5-yard gain. This drive remains alive, and they'll use more clock. 6:20 and counting left in the 4th. Denver clinging to a 14-13 lead as we head back to New York and update with JB.
Hey, Ian, Willie Parker off and running well for Pittsburgh today. 17 carries, 128 yards, and this touchdown here gets to the corner there. 3-yard run. Wow, they've taken the lead 31-24 over New Orleans, capping a 6-play, 78-yard drive. Ian and Solomon.
Now that's a team with a lot of pride, JB. You don't expect them to just fold up for the rest of the season. Plummer steps up, guns, complete. Javon Walker's been quiet here today after that performance from a week ago, and working against Asamoah and Schweiger. That's a 23-yard rip through the air.
And Jake Plummer told us, he says, I get yelled at if I overthrow my receivers because Javon Walker is 6'3". He said, if I underthrow him, that means I'm giving them a chance to go up and come down with the football. And that's exactly what he does here, working against Nnamdi Asamoah. You can see the size advantage that Javon Walker has. He's a big guy who can play the ball in the air as well as anyone.
And Denver is in Oakland territory now with a fresh set of downs to work with. Leading 14-13. Back to the ground game, Tatum Bell. And Bell bouncing for a 3-yard pickup on first down. Spot the football just shy of the 45-yard line. Sam Williams for Oakland in on the tackle.
Right now you see the Denver Broncos just trying to eat as much time off the clock as possible, sustain the drive, keep moving the chains. You're seeing a good mix of run plays to Tatum Bell, and then in the passing game, flipping it over to the tight ends and then extending the ball down the field to Javon Walker and the big wide receivers. Right now, Mike Shanahan has the Oakland Raiders defense back on their heels because this offense is beginning to click.
This drive started at the 9:02 mark of the 4th quarter, back at the Denver 2-yard line. Bootleg again. Plummer sets, throws, nobody home. He was looking for a sideline route to Javon Walker, and a miscommunication there as Walker zigged when Plummer's pass zagged. And we head to New York. Another update. JB.
Hey, Ian and Solomon, take a look at this punt return by Nate Burleson here, surrounded by danger in the form of Rams everywhere, but he escapes, turns on the afterburners, up the sidelines, 90 yards to pay dirt. Second longest return in franchise history. Seattle out in front by 5 in the 4th. Ian and Solomon.
Well, they're finding ways, JB, without Hasselbeck, without Alexander. Give that entire team credit for picking up their play in the absence of 2 stars.
Nate Burleson playing the role of a magician. I don't know how he was able to escape from so many defenders to make a play for his football team.
That was pretty. Timeout taken by the Broncos. That is their final timeout of the day. Playing with the big boys, and they very well could be the second-best team in the AFC. Now, this has been an uneven performance here today, and I think that's why Jake has gotten some of the criticism that he's received, that you don't see it on that high level week in and week out.
And 3 interceptions put your team at risk to lose on a road to a sub-500 football team.
Here's Plummer after the timeout, throws sideline and a pick. Fabian Washington, was he inbounds?
Wow.
Out of bounds and incomplete.
Oh, you'll take some heat for throwing that pass, because this ball's got to be thrown over the top. He literally underthrows it where only Washington can make a play. Javon Walker was on top, and just get the ball out. Allow him to run under the football. See, it's underthrown.
Take a look at the
1
feet.
foot down. Did he get that second one inbounds? Archell may want to take a look at it.
Yeah, they're going to challenge this.
There's 1, there's 2. Now, was that second foot on the line, or did he come down inbounds?
Oakland has 1 timeout left, so they can challenge 1 foot.
Wow. That's an interception.
Oakland is challenging the ruling on the field that the interception was no good.
Now the question's only going to be, was his left leg, out of bounds
It looks like the second foot hit down before the leg made contact. See, that foot's down and no other part of his body
That's a pick.
is touching out of bounds.
That's a pick.
You have 2 number-1 draft picks at cornerback, and Fabian Washington and Nnamdi Asomugha, and then number 1 simply because he did make it, and I think we have conclusive evidence that he got both feet down in bounds.
Well, let's see if Bill Levy
Reviewing
has.
the play. The ruling on the field stands.
Maybe not.
Incomplete.
Whoa.
Fourth down.
So the one aspect is the inconclusive nature.
Am I blind?
I don't know. To me,
what did I see?
that looks like an INT.
Oakland has charged their second timeout.
Now, here is the issue for Oakland. They've just lost their final timeout.
Yes, it is an issue because they're going to get possession of the ball should Denver punt it and not fake the punt. Here's as though they will, and you're the Raiders. You just have to make a play on offense.
Bill Levy said it was the second timeout. Our math says that was their final timeout. So Carr brings it in at the 16-yard line. You're talking about a 4-yard differential in terms of the interception. They would have had it right around the 20.
Okay, I do see 1 foot in bounds. There was the right foot, and then watch that left foot. So if you said to me, well, I can't really tell if he has good possession of the ball, then maybe that's arguable. But from my 2 eyes, looks like an interception for Fabian Washington.
Great individual effort by Washington along that sideline.
But you have to live with it. If you're the Raiders, there's no way you use that as an excuse because you still have an opportunity with 4 minutes left on the clock here in the fourth quarter. You have the ball just inside your 20-yard line. Look to make a play. The offense has played well, protecting the quarterback. Mix in some run with the pass, allow Walter to get rid of the ball quickly to move the offense.
And Solomon, we have checked. It is official. They have no timeouts remaining. Bill Levy just misspoke. Walter! He gets clobbered, loses the ball. And the Broncos have it.
He clearly holds on to the ball way too long.
John Engelberger on the recovery for Denver. And the Broncos now with a chance to shut the door on the Oakland Raiders.
Watch the left tackle, Chad Slaughter. He gets beat. Kennard Lang comes right around the end from the blind side. You see him here. Now watch this. Still holding the ball, and you have to expect to get rid of the football. Yeah, you expect better protection from Chad Slaughter against Kennard Lang, but you have to have a better field in terms of pocket presence if you're Andrew Walter and get rid of the football. So poor execution by the left tackle, Chad Slaughter, and I think a poor execution in terms of pocket presence for your quarterback, Andrew Walter.
Chad Slaughter in for the injured Robert Gallery, out with a groin injury. Gave up a huge sack, and Denver comes up with a turnover. Inside run to Tatum Bell. It's a gain of 1.
And this is where you expect Tatum Bell. Talked about the role that he needs to take on this football team in the running game. The ability to put games away in the fourth quarter. Not only taking time off the clock, but you get a possession down inside the opposing team's red zone. You've got to be able to punch it in for a touchdown and put the game on ice.
Kennard Lang, the former Cleveland Brown and Washington Redskins, signed as a free agent. Who knew that he would be a starter at that spot? But once Courtney Brown went down with a left knee injury, it became Lang's spot permanently. Big play by Lang. On the pass to Johnson.
Wow.
And he is tackled out along the sideline. It's a 3-yard gain.
Thomas Howard is an exceptional athlete. Both he and Kirk Morrison, the linebacker position, comes over and make that tackle on Kyle Johnson. Morrison coming over from the middle linebacker position. Covered a lot of ground on that play.
We are under 3 minutes left. Neither team has a timeout remaining. Denver with a 14-13 lead. Jake Plummer very strong in this fourth quarter after a brutal first half. 3rd and 5 on the handoff, and not much there. So they went for the quick hitter up the middle, hoping to catch Oakland off balance to Bell. Kirk Morrison making the play defensively, and Denver will settle for the field goal, and At this point, Oakland would have to go down the field and score a touchdown to win.
And what you just saw from the Raiders defense is the reason why there is some promise. You ask me, how well is this ball club responding to the coaching of Art Shell? The defense never quits. I don't care what's going on with this football team. They continue to fight to keep the Broncos out of the end zone.
Field goal attempt coming up for Elam. 2-minute warning. 4th down for the Denver Broncos, and even 2 minutes to play. Jason Elam trying to make this a 4-point Bronco lead, a 24-yard field goal. Plummer to hold. And Elam splits the uprights. Denver's lead is 17-13, 1:56 to play. For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. The Broncos and the Raiders, Ian Eagle along with Solomon Wilcots, our score. Denver 17, Oakland 13. Tonight on 60 Minutes, a tribute to the memory and many talents of our friend and colleague, Ed Bradley. 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast. Time for an update. Back to the NFL today and JB in New York.
Hey, Ian, I know Solomon can appreciate this. Take a look at Steven Jackson of the Rams. Just pure brute strength. Boom! Takes him 4 or 5 yards with him. At least 3 guys to pay dirt. 2-point conversion is no good. 22-21. Rams on top of Seattle with 2:23 left in regulation. Ouch! Back to Ian and Solomon.
JB, I can't appreciate it. He looked like Earl Campbell.
Yeah.
Powering into the end zone.
He's got the whole package, that guy.
He sure does. Excellent run with great power.
Big game between Seattle and St. Louis within the NFC West. AFC West matchup here with Denver leading it 17-13. Broncos already know that San Diego has taken care of business. They had to rally to knock off Cincinnati earlier today. Denver in a similar spot, not nearly as much scoring. But the Broncos find themselves in front. Return man, Chris Carr. And tripped up as he crosses the 30-yard line for Oakland. Brought down at the 32. We have time for another update. Back to New York. Busy man today. JB.
Ian and Solomon, a runner of a different sort. Willie Parker, outstanding day. 4-yard run. 2nd touchdown of the day. 19 carries, 208 yards for Willie Parker. Pittsburgh on top by 14. Back to Ian and Solomon.
Now Steelers still have some life left in them.
Wow.
Defending Super Bowl champions, making a statement today against one of the real surprise teams in the National Football League, the New Orleans Saints. No timeouts remaining for Oakland. They've got 1:50 to get down the field, and things are just falling apart for the Raiders on offense. Broncos have the football, and this game is over. On the recovery, Elvis Dumervil.
And I'm not so sure that Andrew Walter ever received the ball on the snap from Jake Groh. Watch it here. See, ball's on the ground, and he has a chance to recover it. He never makes a play for it. The ball never got up. Now, who'd you say, whose fault is it? It's the responsibility of the center to get the ball to the quarterback, but quarterback's got to hang in there and ride the center and make sure that he secures the football. What an awful way to lose a ball game. A game that you had in control 3/4 of the way from start to finish.
The Denver Broncos. A poor start to the day on offense. Defensively, they never lost that fire. And we talked about it, foreshadowing in that 4th quarter. At some point, the Raiders are going to give the football away. That's just been their MO throughout the season. And young Andrew Walter, the inexperience caught up to him. And the frustration level is maybe at an all-time high for him right now.
They finished the game on their last 2 possessions, turning the football over when they had an opportunity to win the ball game. So it has to be disappointing when they played very good for most of the game. But young football teams have to find a way to finish it, just like the veteran team. The Broncos have found a way to win it.
Tonight on CBS, a 60 Minutes tribute to the memory of Ed Bradley, followed by The Amazing Race. Cold Case, then Without a Trace. That's all tonight on CBS, America's most watched network. And if you're Denver, you say, hey, it wasn't a Picasso, but we'll take it.
More like a Salvador Dali. Not pretty at all, but still good enough for a win.
So the Broncos improve to 7-2. They sweep the Raiders this season. Mike Shanahan's dominance over the Raiders continues. Was not pretty here this afternoon, but Denver rallies for a 17-13 win over the Oakland Raiders. Fourth quarter miscues by Andrew Walter as Shanahan and Shell meet at midfield. The man who replaced him as head coach of the Raiders, Jake Plummer, well, he stepped up when it counted in the fourth quarter. So for Solomon Wilcots, this is Ian Eagle saying so long from Raider Nation. Denver 17, Oakland 13. You've been watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 41.